economy tonight and are reporting on the prices you're paying for everything. Tonight here, the cost of a new car. What our reporter discovered on the car lot, the average price of a new vehicle in this country, and what's driving this.
Tonight, it's never been more expensive to buy a new car. According to a report from Kelley Blue Book, the average price for a new vehicle has cracked the $50,000 mark for the first time ever.
That's shocking.
I think it's obscene.
And that's just what people paid. The average asking price, the MSRP for 2026 models, is even higher, more than $52,000. It was only a matter of time, especially when you consider the best-selling vehicle in America is a pickup truck from Ford that routinely costs north of $65,000. The report says the average price for a new Tesla is $54,138. Tonight, economists say tariffs on autos and key auto parts are a factor. Also factors a rush to buy electric vehicles before tax breaks expire in September because of President Trump's big, beautiful bill that eliminates them.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, smash that like, and ring the bell so you never miss out latest breakdowns of America's ongoing economic circus. Alright, let's get right into it. Because apparently, owning a car in Trump's America has become a luxury dream, straight out of a billionaire's garage. Yes, you heard that right. The average new car in the US now costs around $50,000. Yes, $50,000. And that's not a Tesla. That's the average. And if you think that's bad, wait till you see the financial terms. Folks are taking out 7-year loans just to buy a Honda Civic that now costs more than a used house in 1990.
Congrats, America. We have turned the Honda Civic into a luxury item. That's right. According to Kelley Blue Book, the average transaction price for a new car just topped $50,080 for the first time in history, up 2.1% from just last month. Oh, and 3.6% from last year. Oh, and that 3.6% spike was the biggest we've had in 2 years. So I know you're asking, well, what happened? Well, let's take a look at one of America's favorite toys, the Ford pickup truck. A single F-150 can easily cost you $65,000. When the most popular vehicle costs that much, it's going to drag up the prices of everything on the market. And who wins in this mess? Rich people. They can buy whatever they want. Their high-end toys like luxury EVs, tricked out SUVs, are helping drive up the averages for everybody else. So between tariffs, electric vehicles, and luxury models padding the numbers, it's the working class that keeps paying more and more. But hey, America says we're doing great, right? So tell me, y'all tired of being great yet?
America's auto loan crisis is exploding, and it's not just subprime borrowers that are feeling the pain. Right now, U.S. auto loan debt has hit a record $1.66 trillion, with some delinquency, default, and repossession figures looking similar to what we saw back in 2008. A new report from the Consumer Federation of America warns that the system is, quote, at a breaking point, and they're criticizing regulators for not doing enough to fix it. Monthly automotive payments have spiked, averaging $745 a month, with 1 in 5 buyers shelling out $1,000 or more every month. High interest rates are pushing budgets, and with the $7,500 EV tax credit about to vanish, the squeeze could get even tighter. What might be most surprising is that even prime borrowers, people with really strong credit, are struggling. They're now twice as likely to fall behind compared to pre-2020. Younger buyers are defaulting in high numbers, and repossessions across all age groups spiked 43% between 2022 and 2024, according to data from Cox Automotive. Experts are warning that this isn't just about cars, but because most Americans will prioritize car payments over other bills, soaring delinquency rates could be flashing red lights for the entire economy. Personally, and some may disagree, but I think the answer simply lies in people making smarter buying decisions, especially when it comes to vehicles. Either way, America's auto loan problem seems to be spiraling out of control.
How about this for a warning from one auto industry expert? The price of new cars in the U.S. will skyrocket in coming weeks, and maybe even sooner than you think, after President Trump announced 25% tariffs are coming on all cars and car parts shipped to the U.S. Quote, "There's probably not a vehicle on the market today that wouldn't be affected in some form or fashion by tariffs."
What's up, America? Cars in the United States now. So apparently the price tag for new and used cars here in America continues to increase even though no one's buying fucking cars. On top of that, there's rising maintenance costs and rising repair costs because of parts coming from China. And now American car manufacturers are warning that prices may go higher because of tariffs against China and just tariffs in general. But you know what I have to say to American car manufacturers? I have to say that you dumb fuckers wouldn't have to worry about tariffs had you made the cars here in the United States. You base your companies here in Detroit, and then you move all your factories to Mexico and China. You know, the cheap labor thing so you don't have to pay American workers. And then you ship those products over here and expect us just to eat it up with a thank you. How about fuck you? How's that sound? I'll either buy any other car in the world or I'll buy a Japanese car because I know it won't break right away. Yeah, instead of American cars, I think I'll start buying Japanese or German vehicles. Oh, the price might be slightly higher, but you know what? At least I can count on some of those cars to not break constantly. And at least some of those companies are actually putting manufacturing hubs here in America and in their own countries. A lot of those companies aren't outsourcing their shit to third world countries to increase profits. Although I'm starting to worry about Volkswagen specifically lately. But the overall situation is if you're gonna base your company in America, the product should be made in America as well. I understand sourcing materials, but build the shit here. It's odd to me for a Ford to be built and manufactured in Mexico and then brought over here for sale. It's very transparent what you're doing here.
Today, for the first time in history, the average price of a new car in America is $50,000. Donald Trump promised during his campaign to bring down prices, and cars aren't the only thing that cost more now than they did at the beginning of his presidency. The price of everything has increased by 2.9% in the past year. The cost of food at home has increased by 2.7%, and the cost of food away from home has increased by 3.9%. The cost of electricity to Americans is up by 6.2%, and the price of gas for your stove is up 13.8%. It gets worse. The cost of rent has gone up by 3.6%, and the cost of medical care has gone up 4.2%. So, I have a question for everyone who voted for Donald Trump based on the promise.
In 2005, about half of Americans could afford a new car. Today, that number has dropped to around 20% because the average price of a new car is now $50,000. This is a perfect example of how Trump's America is becoming a nation of have and have-nots. Economists estimate that tariffs have added anywhere between $2,000 and $6,000 to the price of a new car. Most of that increase is hidden in the destination fee, not the sticker price, so that the man in the White House doesn't get angry at manufacturers. Automakers have also quietly erased the entry-level car because the profit margins just don't work with the administration's tariffs. In 2005, a family could buy a base model Camry or Accord for under $20,000. Today, the $20,000 sedan is extinct, replaced with bigger and pricier SUVs with larger margins. At the same time, we're still missing 10 million vehicles that were never built during the pandemic, leaving a massive hole in the used car market. So most Americans are trapped. New cars are out of reach and used ones are scarce. Right now, the average age of a vehicle on the road is 14 years old. Not exactly ideal for reliability in a country built for cars. 2025 was supposed to be the first normal year in the car business since before the pandemic. Instead, tariffs have turned new cars into a fairy tale for most Americans.
This is getting way out of hand. We just found out the average new car sale price here in the US, and it has reached a disgustingly high number. Over the past few years, this year especially, new car prices have been going up way too quick. Even as interest rates have remained high, buyers are paying more and more to get into new luxury vehicles and expensive EVs. According to new Cox Automotive data, the average sale price of a new car has crossed the $50,000 mark, a number previously thought way too high is now the norm. The number's up a ridiculous 2.1% from August and a gross 3.6% from September last year. And these numbers refer to the actual transaction price, which you should know is different than the MSRP. But MSRPs are also up 4.2% and have hit $52,000. Part of this jump in September is thanks to the expiring EV tax credit, which caused a surge in EV sales. But it's also because a lot of the market has been held up by wealthy buyers who continue to buy luxury cars even though the prices are going up. The car maker with the highest average transaction price last month by a pretty wide margin was Jaguar Land Rover owner Tata with a price of $102,096. The car maker with the lowest average transaction price was Subaru at $36,092, which was just slightly lower than Nissan Renault. This information is pretty hard to swallow, but it's also a good sign that a lot of people are paying way too much for new cars. So before you go and buy another car, be a little bit more diligent. Let me know what you guys think.
We built our entire country around cars and roads with no public transit in most places, and now Americans can't afford cars. The average car price has increased 35% over the last 6 years, according to this, to $50,000. That's insane. The average monthly car payment is $761, I think it said. It's like $500 something for a used car. How are people supposed to afford that on top of $2,500 a month rent when wages haven't increased? Meanwhile, China's putting out $8,000 electric cars like this BYD Seagull. It costs 18,000 pounds in England after tariffs, but we're not even allowed to buy it because they're worried more about these fucking companies not going under rather than making it so that Americans can live. If it were not mandatory to own a car in most places in the United States, it'd be a different discussion. But at the end of the day, they need to be allowing people to buy affordable transportation if they're not going to put mass transit in this country. This is insane. I just moved to Philadelphia. There are trains here, and it's fucking awesome, except maybe the L. If you're from Philadelphia, you know what I'm talking about. But it's great to not need a car. But if I'm forced to have a car, I need to be able to afford one.
So I don't normally ever come on here and post anything except of my dog because he's absolutely gorgeous. But I am extremely frustrated being a full-time employed person living in Florida and not being able to afford to live. I have spent my whole fucking day off trying to find a, more affordable place to live because I can't afford fucking $1,300 a month in rent and then fucking a $650 car note and then $300 in fucking insurance and then you got utilities and it's just it's either I eat or I pay my bills, and then even then it's like, okay, well, which bill's gonna be fucking late this month? And I'm so fucking sick of it. Like all these fucking apartment complexes and realtors and even private renters, fuck you so fucking hard. And I mean that with everything in me. Fuck you. I nor anybody else should be working 60 plus hours a fucking week and not be able to fucking live. I'm about to crash the fuck out. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me losing my fucking mind. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm about to lose my shit because I just can't take it.
What's up, America? Americans are falling behind on their car payments and people are starting to get their cars repossessed. Now, this is happening at a record rate, both for used cars and new cars. Americans simply cannot afford the ridiculously high payments, so they're getting their cars taken from them. This is happening at a record pace. Never before have so many people had their cars repossessed. On top of that, extremely high prices for new and used cars are making sure that Americans cannot afford a car. As I said, it's record numbers right now. Most people are paying $700 a month on average for their car. And like I've said in other videos, going as high as over $1,000 a month. But the length of the loans is extending, sometimes as high as 10 years. Most people don't have a car for 5 years. So the entire auto industry right now is upside down. Nearly $2 trillion in auto debt. A lot of it people just can't pay. That's because auto lenders are ridiculously greedy and they're fucking people on purpose. High interest, high payment, tightening up credit. That's how things are going in the United States. It's getting so greedy when it comes to the auto industry that people can't even buy it anymore. So the auto industry right now is doing exactly what I've talked about other industries will be falling into shortly. And that's the prices are so high, the interest is so high, nobody has money to afford it either. And so instead of lowering prices, they would rather the market just collapse totally. We can't lose a penny of that profit, right, Mr. Krabs? But frankly, coming from the heart, fuck the auto industry and the auto lending industry. I hope you motherfuckers all go bankrupt. Fuck you. You've been gouging people for a decade. You're not too big to fail. Fuck you. I want you to go out of business.
Over $3,000 in a 12-month period. The number's gone up again. The average brand new car price as of September 2025, $50,000. $50,080 to be exact. I did a video on this last year, and the average new car price in 2024 and 2025, late 2024 and last year, or the new car price in 2020, late 2024 and 2025 earlier this year was about $47,000. So we've increased over $3,000 in less than a 12-month window. I'm telling y'all, this is just the beginning. I really believe that we're on our way to $60,000, $75,000. I think we're on our way to $150,000 F-250s. I think we're easily on our way to $100,000 Mustangs, and those aren't even selling. It's not just Ford. General Motors is doing it. General Motors has to do it a lot because every car they have is either a plug-in hybrid or an electric car. Okay, I'm not knocking EVs. It's just when the EVs don't sell, they got to move the money around so they can not take all those losses. If the companies take all those losses, they're not going to have any money. Okay, they won't have any money to pay people. They won't build any cars. So we're up $3,000, $50,000. That's the average. Average. It's going to get worse. Have a hobby.
Yesterday, I had to have my brakes done on my car, and my toxic trait is like, you know what? Do we need to have the brakes done, or should I just go get something else? Because she has 140,000 miles on her. And I was like, you know what? No, the engine is just fine. So I went ahead and dropped that $880 or whatever it was to get the brakes, which included the padding, or the pads, the rotors, and the calipers on all 4 tires. And then I was watching some other videos that I've seen lately, and y'all, the average cost of a brand new car is now $50,000. The fuck? Who is spending $50,000 on a new car? Like, do we need a new car, fam? Do the maintenance, do the required maintenance on your car. If the engine is good, if she turns on, if she runs, just do the maintenance that goes along with the car and drive that bitch into the grave until you can't drive her anymore. Okay? Just, it'll be okay. You don't need that new car. You don't need to go out and spend money on a new car in place of just having the routine maintenance done. As painful as it is, that was half my damn paycheck. Like, just remember that. You guys stay beautiful, stay blessed.
The U.S. auto loans delinquent by 90 days or more has reached a level beyond COVID level, right? As June 30th, 2025, we have almost a 5% delinquency level that is 90 days or more. Let's look at a 5-year chart. We're reaching pretty much what we had during COVID. Now, a lot of this was subsidized money. There was a lot of deferments, a lot of aid from the government to help people during COVID times. But now people are starting to see things are getting more expensive, and people are unfortunately can't catch up and can't catch a breath. There's even an article that was posted that Americans are behind on car payments at a record level. As you can see, Most of the auto loan delinquencies come from subprime borrowers. If you're subprime, that means you've had some prior issues with your credit. Right now, 6.6% of subprime auto borrowers were at least 60 days past due on their loans in January 2025. This is the highest level since the agency began collecting data. So what does this mean? That means that we are seeing an effect on subprime buyers, people that have bad credit, limited income, because vehicle prices are getting higher. Car insurance is more expensive because that's also credit based as well. So you have to understand that a lot of times this is affecting the middle class and the poor class. And I tell people all the time, it is very expensive being poor. If you make poor decisions and you are stuck in this mentality of just like getting into whatever you can because you don't have a lot of money down. I get it. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But understand this puts us in that cyclical, very bad path into financial disaster, generational pain instead of generational wealth. We got to break that cycle. In this situation, there's nothing wrong with going to go buy a $2,000 cheap car. There are plenty I've seen on Facebook Marketplace, a Volkswagen Passat with a 2.5 motor, a Honda Accord, a Honda Civic. These are all cars that are known for how cheap it is to repair, how cheap it is to insure, and how reliable they are, and they have the basic necessities. Just be resourceful. You have to go through difficulties to understand that you have to better yourself to get into a position that you can afford those things, not because you deserve them, because you are where you are. So you got to work for those things, you got to earn those things, and those things may not give you happiness. I've had it all. I've had money, I've had cars. It never brought me happiness. What brought me happiness is stability, serenity when it comes to understanding that my mental peace comes from the fact that I am truly grateful and happy for what I have. And even though it may not necessarily be the best that I want, it gets the job done.
So how did we get here? Well, let's take a ride, no pun intended, through Trump's booming economy. You remember that slogan, right? America first. Turns out it's really America broke first. Now, under Trump's tariffs and trade wars, auto parts costs skyrocketed, okay? Manufacturing slowed and foreign investments tanked. But hey, at least the MAGA crowd got to wave some flags while their pickup trucks doubled in price. Now the same people who shouted Trump's bringing jobs back are realizing he's also bringing bills, right? Interest rates and repossession trucks right to their driveways. Here's the kicker. It's not even just about luxury vehicles anymore. Ordinary sedans, family SUVs, and even cars have hit insane price tags. The average used car is hovering near $30,000. Now, for something that already has 80,000 miles and a check engine light that's basically permanent, okay? But don't worry, Trump says the economy is doing great. Yeah, sure. If you're one of his billionaire golf buddies, it's doing fantastic. The rest of America, not quite so much. You've got working class families having to choose between fixing their cars or paying rent because the so-called America First agenda forgot that America actually need to afford the products they buy. And what's Trump's latest solution? He's blaming who else? Democrats and immigrants, because apparently it's the immigrants' fault that Ford jacked up their truck prices to about 40%. Makes perfect sense, right? It's a classic Trump move. Point fingers, make noise, and distract people from the fact that his policies wrecked the economy. He keeps bragging about saving. Meanwhile, automakers are loving this chaos. They know Americans are desperate. They'll stretch their paychecks to the breaking point just to keep a car that can actually make it work, okay? And the banks, they are cashing in on those loans like it's Christmas money. Now, so here we are in 2025, and buying a car now feels like applying for a mortgage. People are financing vehicles that will be worth less than their payments in 2 years. All while Trump is out here boasting about the greatest economy in American history. Newsflash. When folks can afford groceries, gas, or cars, that's not greatness. That's economic decay with a red hat on top. But what do you think, guys? Are Americans finally realizing that Trump's business genius was just smoke and mirror? How long do you think people can keep up with $1,000 a month car payment before the system collapses? And is this the moment where voters finally stop believing the hype and start demanding real change? Drop your thoughts down in the comment section. I want to hear your take on this auto mess. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, share, and please subscribe, because we'll keep breaking down how this so-called Trump economy keeps driving Americans straight into the ditch. Now, until next time, stay smart, stay alert, and don't let anyone gaslight you about what's really happening in your wallet, okay? I'll see you guys on my next video. Credit belongs to original creators.